Now, you just finished filming your latest video and you're super stoked about it because it took you 2 hours. Now, you come to Premiere, you dump all of your footage into the project window, and then you go to the YouTube audio library, pick a song that feels right, and then you go ham snipping at this thing for the next 2 weeks. Now, this sounds like a person who doesn't know what they're doing, but don't get discouraged because I do almost exactly that. What's happening, y'all? My name's Ernest Gladden, or TheMagicalfro here on YouTube. This video is for those who are just starting to edit. Whether you're a freelance filmmaker, you're editing a video for YouTube, or for some weird reason you're planning on uploading to Vimeo. Do people still even use that? Usually, when people start out editing, they spend hours, days, and sometimes even weeks editing a video that was supposed to be 7 minutes long. Now you're thinking to yourself right now, how's this guy supposed to help? He literally just admitted being a sucker when it comes to editing videos.
What you doing, sucker?
Well, I'll have you know that I've worked my way out of the spending weeks to edit a video category into the days category. So I'm gonna give you 5 tips on how I managed to speed up my workflow, make it easier, and get my finished product out faster. So, with that being said, let's get to it. Now, step 1 is to plan. Plan. All the way from the dotted I down to the crossed T. You don't have to be that thorough when you're planning things, but the more thorough you are, chances are that the easier it's going to be to edit and the faster it's going to be. For example, the things I'm saying to you right now, I'm not saying off the top of my head. I planned them. I wrote them down. The script is right here. See? Step 1, plan. When you're shooting videos, do as best you can to plan shooting them chronologically if they're that simple. If you're, doing a big shoot, obviously that makes things more complicated. But if you're working with smaller things such as this, the things that I do, try to plan them in such a way you can shoot chronologically. Take certain sections of your footage that are for a specific scene and try organizing them into a specific folder labeled. And here are some examples of that right here. That way, when you bring them into Premiere, they'll be sectioned out for you. You know what's where, and you can just line them up and edit away. Tip number 2 is hotkeys. Now, if you don't know what hotkeys are, they're just a certain keys on your keyboards that, are linked to certain actions within your program. Say, for example, if you wanted to cut a clip, most people would, take their time to drag their mouse all the way over to the razor cutting tool and cut wherever they need to cut. That's fine and all, it works, but if you're trying to be a speed demon hot rod racer like me, you don't have to come all the way over to this sidebar right here. You can stay exactly where you are, whatever point in the video you need to cut, press C on your keyboard, and boom, you have your razor tool right there, and you just snip. And you snip wherever you need to snip, as many times as you need to snip. And if you want to switch back, instead of coming over and clicking the section or the selection tool, you can stay exactly where you are, click, thank you Premiere for auto saving, stay exactly where you are and press V, and you got the selection tool. Boom, right there. It's so much mobility, so fast, so man. For another example, say you want to come over, you want to copy something and you want to paste. Instead of going over to right click on your footage and find the copy button and then going to wherever it is you need to go on your timeline and then pasting your footage, you can simply click whatever section it is you need, press Control C on your keyboard. If you're using a Mac, use Command whatever it is, I don't know, and then come over to wherever it is on your timeline and then hit Control V and then paste your footage. Tip number 3 would be sectioning your clips or cutting your clips before you even drop them into the timeline. So, for example, you come over to your project window in Premiere, and instead of dragging the entire video out onto your timeline, all you have to do is come over to your clip or your footage, select it, click on it, left click. We all know how to use a mouse. And it'll bring up this little sliding tool. Click and hold, go to wherever it is you need in your footage. And here's where those hotkeys come in again. To select your endpoint, I, and go over to wherever it is you need or where you want your out point to be, and hit O on your keyboard, and it'll set your out point. And then boom, you've got your pre-cut clip and you've dropped it into your timeline. And you don't have to worry about all that extra cutting. Boom, kung pao chicken. Tip number 4, take breaks. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, that sounds counterproductive. It is not. It can be, but we won't let it. We have willpower. No, but seriously, it can be very important sometimes to take breaks. I personally have been in this situation, and I've heard of other people being in this situation where they kind of get lost down this rabbit hole and end up getting tunnel vision over this particular clip, or maybe even the whole project, or what have you. And they start to, start tweaking these very small, very minor, almost not important at all, tedious details in their video, and they kind of start to forget about the bigger picture when it comes to editing their video. So go take a break, go take a 15, 20, 30 minute, hour long break, and then come back with fresh eyes, ready to go again, and keep the bigger picture in mind. The audience is not going to notice that you didn't cut all the way to that one particular frame that you wanted to cut to. I get that it's important to get your timing right and to also get the pacing of the video right, but you can come back to that. Once you've got all of these bigger details out of the way, get that out of the way, and then come back to this skeleton of a timeline you made, and then give it some love and care. Tip number 5 is to be proud. Be proud of your work. You are doing a super cool, creative, fun thing here, and if it's something you enjoy doing, do it. Be proud of it, because editing sometimes can be frustrating. Editing sometimes can be hard, but you mustn't let that get in the way of finishing a product, because once you finish your video, you'll feel so satisfied. You have this thing now here in front of you that you did yourself, and you made it, and you just want to love it and kiss it and be proud. Because if you let small things like editing frustrations or self-doubt get in the way of your video, you may end up completely forgetting about the whole thing, or wanting to call the whole thing off, or what have you. And then you'll never know what the outcome of that video might have been. It might have gotten you would have went viral, bro. You could have went viral, but you didn't edit that video. Nope, because you got frustrated. Be proud. Have pride in your work, and allow that to drive you all the way to the end. And be proud. I can't say it enough. Just be proud. Be proud of your work. Be proud. Be proud of your work. Now, if you've watched any other videos on how to edit or whatever it is you search up, you little weirdo, you'll usually hear the person say, "No, you don't have to do it how I do it." This point, I feel, is usually made very brief and is not stressed enough. This is the most important, by the way, bonus tip. This is the most important point, is that you do not have to do it how the person who is teaching you how to do it does it. This is an art. An art is subjective. It is important to find what works for you. Do what you're comfortable with. If you can't do hotkeys, you find yourself struggling to memorize all the hotkeys, and you feel like in that moment it may just be faster for you to drag your mouse over and click whatever button you have to click, come back to your timeline, and then continue editing the way you edit, that's fine. The mouse is tight. It's a good tool. Use it. I don't even have all the hotkeys memorized. I just have the ones memorized that I know I use for my editing most. When you're editing and you're using your mouse, every once in a while, just be like Salt Bae and sprinkle a hotkey in over here and a hotkey in over here. That's what I did, and now hotkeys are like 90% of my workflow. It is just important that you learn and get comfortable with whatever program you're using, learn the ins and outs, and then you will be unstoppable. Just keep editing to the very last second and you will be unstoppable. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed that video, make sure to leave a like. You know, let me be the first to say this. I feel like the like button gets abused quite often on YouTube, and it's such a good positive thing for each and every video. So, what I want you to do is go down to that like button, whisper sweet nothings in its ear, and caress the top of its thumb, and leave a like. And if you're feeling daring, subscribe to the channel, smash that subscribe button, abuse that subscribe button, wreck that subscribe button like it owes you money. Just now, if you know what's good for you, you will find the little bell. You will click that bell, and if you hear a then you know you will have done it correct. And congratulations, you will be getting notified for the swellest, and I mean the swellest content on the internet. And with that being said, those were my 5 tips to speed up my workflow. And again, you do not have to do the things I advised you to do here today. Find what's comfortable for you and do that, especially if it speeds up your workflow, because that's important. And again, I am not a professional at this. I am only just starting to get better with each and every day and each and every video I edit, and so I am just trying to bestow my amateur wisdom upon you. With that list of things that I would advise you to do also comes a list of things that I would not advise you to do. And if you want to hear that list of things that I would advise you not to do, I would go down to the comment section below and just let me know if you want to see that video, if you're interested in that at all. If you absolutely hated this video and do not want to see any other like it, that's too bad. If I decide to put one out, I'm going to put one out. Alright guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned something of value here today. With that being said, this video was not recorded live from my bedroom, and remember, feel the magic.